What's up, YouTube? Today so I know I haven't uploaded in a long time, but anyway, we're gonna be doing a Salamangreat deck profile. I finally got top 4 at my Yu-Gi-Oh tournament using salads, so yeah, I got $10 from $10 store credit from me, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's begin. So one Gazelle is honestly one of the best monsters in the game. Gazelle is awesome. You have to play it. It's just kind of a standard list at this point. Um, Foxy, 3 Foxy to search through your deck. Gazelle's at 1, so you need to find it. 3 Spinny, so after the Mirage Stalio ban, many didn't want to necessarily play Spinny, but Spinny is just such a great card overall that I feel like you have to play because it gets banished after you use its effect and it leaves the field. It becomes a bit harder to manage resources because it's just so necessary. So at times I would always have 1 Spinny in grave for some reason, and no wait, I would always have I would only have 1 less. So I used to play 2, and I found games where I was having both banished, and I just couldn't necessarily make that comeback that I wanted because I didn't have that extra card. So that's why I play 3. And then 2 Jaguar. Um, it's kind of weird on why I play 2 because it's an amazing card, but it's a bit harder to get engrave after the Mirage Stalio ban, but it's all good because if you have luck, then that's all that matters. And to help facilitate the Mirage Stalio ban, I run 2 mirrors, so it could basically special itself if you if you just add it to your hand or draw it, um, and you could just special summon it with no cost, but it could also just be special summoned by sending 1 salad monster to the graveyard from your hand. So a lot of games I would have Jaguar and Mirror in my hand. I'll just say reveal Mirror, dump Jaguar, and then I would just special Mirror. It's just a nice card overall. Oh yeah, and then there's this weird play. So if you have a Mirror and Falco, you could just use Mirror, send Falco, uh, use Falco's effect, use Falco's second effect. So you could just bounce this back to hand, special Falco, and then you could use Mirror's other effect to special summon itself back. So then you just get 2 monsters on the board, and then 1 foul. Uh, it's okay. 1 Falco. It's nice, I guess. And then we also have 3 Buffalo. I love this card. You could just chain block with links. Uh, it's just a phenomenal card overall. So you have to run 3. It is a bit bricky at times, but it's all fine because you could just discard the other buffer. 1 debug. So even though it's at 3 now, I choose to only play 1 because debug, I like the card, but it's not necessarily enough to get the play started. So the search is nice. It's really nice, but after I get the search, since this isn't necessarily a salad monster, I won't be able to summon Gazelle or anything, and it just takes up your normal summon, which I just don't kind of like. I'd much rather have Buffalo take up my normal summon. And then we have for the for the extenders, we have 2 Reclusia and 2 Archivers. Archiver I'm kind of mixed about because it's a water type, so there's times where I try to make Wolf, but I just can't because Sea Archiver is just a water. Um, but it's okay. And then Reclusia. So Reclusia is just awesome overall. You could just special summon it. It's an inherit summon, so you don't need so it can't be negated. And once it's special summon, you could pop it, and you could blow up a card on the field, which is really nice going second. Uh, I might consider running 3 Reclusia and cut out one Archiver. And then we also have 1 Sanctuary. It's mandatory to play. 3 Mining. Mining is what makes this deck good at the moment. Getting Gazelle, and then just resolving its effect after is just nice. Circle. It's also necessary to play after the well, it was always necessary to play, but it's even more important now. Um, 2, well, some people play 3. I find 3 to be very bricky in my opinion, so I only play 2. 1 Fusion of Fire. Fusion of Fire is just super poly, but for salad monsters, uh, it's a nice card. Um, 2 Pot. 3 is kind of bricky. I find 2 to be just right. You always use it after you get Gazelle, so or get the field spell. Uh, and then 1 Upstart. Upstart's just a free card. 2 Roar and 2 Rage. Uh, 2 Roar and 2 Rage is a pretty nice ratio. I've always been playing it like this. Um, it's nice because I can normally open at least one of them, and that's always good. And then for hand traps, we run 3 Ash, common Ashes, of course, because they came in this structure deck. But yeah, 3 Ash, it's most generic, and then 2 Imperms. I might think about running 3, I don't necessarily know. Uh, Always remember about Imperm second effect about the Imperm column. I almost, well, so at my tournament, I was about to get OTK'd by Utopia Double, but then they used Double or Nothing in the same column Imperm was, so I got saved, but it still wasn't enough to help me win. Next round it was a tie, so yeah. 3 links for extra deck, so links is just your field starter. It's a terraforming. 3 Wolf. Wolf is a great card. 2 Helio. Helio is also a good card. 1 Chimchera for the Fusion of Fire. It's okay. It's nice. 1 Transcode and Update Jammer. The 2 of these are really nice because I could use both of them into making Avramax sometimes. So after I like go into battle phase and stuff, I go to main phase 2 and make the Avramax. And then we also have 1 Starving Venom. I run Super Poly in the side, and 1 Borreload. Borreload is just a really good card overall. I usually choose Avramax over Borreload, but either one is good. And so ultimately, that's just my salad deck profile. I don't run any of the XZs because none of them are as good as Stalio. None of them can replace Stalio, so I don't necessarily see the point. I'd rather just have the 2 monsters to continue extending my plays, because Mirage Stalio just gave you that extra monster back, and you got a neutral gain. But now since Mirage Stalio was banned, you can only the only good Xyz monsters you can go into is the Fire Fist one. and Dante. Dante is inconsistent, and you're not necessarily sure if you're gonna get a monster, spell, or trap. So I don't necessarily like that. And the Fire Fist one, it's just a wolf, and you're using two monsters to use it, and I don't really like that because you could just use those two monsters that you use to make it. In you could use those to make a like a higher link rating monster. So that's why I don't really play them. And so that's just my deck. I really like salads, and that's pretty much it. Goodbye.